Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Read-Aloud time. Together, we're going to read a wonderful story that I know you'll love. My name is Serenity, Miss Serenity, and I welcome you here. I'm so glad you came. Let's sit together and read a wonderful story. What story, you ask? Well, find out. Come with me. Boys and girls, today's story is Curious George Visits the Zoo. Have you ever been to a zoo? A zoo is a place where animals are kept and people can go and look at them. George, are you excited to visit the zoo? Oh, that's so cute. Okay, George, let's find out what happens. Curious George Visits the Zoo, adapted from the Curious George film series, edited by Margaret Ray and Alan J. Shalak. George, said the man, how would you like to see a real elephant? Let's go to the zoo. There was a lot to see at the zoo. There were giraffes, with their necks so long they seemed to reach the sky. There were kangaroos carrying their babies in a special pocket, right there. And finally, there were elephants with their floppy ears and their long trunks, munching on hay. It was lunchtime. People were eating on the park benches and picnicking on the grass. I'm going to find out what time they feed the lions, said the man with the yellow hat. Wait here and don't get into trouble. Okay, George, did you hear what the man in the yellow hat said? No trouble, okay? Okay. While George was waiting, he saw a zookeeper with a pail of bananas for the monkeys. And here they are. George, those aren't for you. Oh. The keeper put the pail down to get a drink at the water fountain. George was hungry, and he grabbed the pail and ran away with it. George, put that pail down. Put that pail of bananas down. Oh, George. Hey, shouted the keeper. Stop that monkey. But George kept on running. There he goes. George! Hey! A crowd of people were standing near the monkey house, just the place for George to hide. Standing by the cage was a little boy holding a red balloon with a long string. Suddenly, one of the monkeys reached out, snatched the string from the boy's hand. I wonder what happens. What do you think happens? And he ran to the top of the cage. tried to squeeze the balloon through the bars. The other monkeys started to shriek and scream. The little boy was crying. Please, couldn't somebody get his balloon back? Asked the mother. None of the people could reach that high. But George knew what to do. With the pail in his hand, he climbed up to the top of the cage. Here he comes. He's climbing up. Here comes George. He's climbing up. He's getting higher and higher. He took a few bananas and fed them to the monkeys. While the monkeys were eating, George snatched the balloon and swung down from the cage. He handed the balloon back to the boy. He's not crying anymore. Everybody clapped and cheered. Yay, George! Woohoo! Yay! Good job, George. Aw. Just then, the man with the yellow hat came running. George, the man cried, I've been looking all over the place for you. Oh, don't be angry with him, said the mother. He saved my son's balloon. George should not have taken my pail, said the keeper, but he did feed the monkeys. Now it's time to feed ourselves, said the man. And that's what they did. George, you did a great job. Here, it's time for you to have a banana. Well, boys and girls, that's the end of George Goes to the Zoo, but there'll be more Curious George books in the future, so look for them. Thanks for joining us. We had such a good time. It was so much fun, wasn't it, George? Yes, he loved spending time with you. Bye, boys and girls.